Hello everyone, welcome all of you ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. So in front of you is the Begelitpanzer 57, or as it's commonly known, the Bagel. Yeah, we on the NA server refer to this thing as the Bagel. And as you may know, we are going to review the Bagel. Now there are 0 other tier 5 light tanks to compare this to. So we're going to compare it to some tier 5 MBTs and a tier 5 AFV. So we're going to pull up the BMP and the Fox. And we're going to compare it to the ERC-40. So, what makes the Bagel 57 special, besides the fact it's a light tank? It's the fact it has a 57mm gun and is the only tank in the game to have a true, quote, autoloader, similar to what we expect to see in World of Tanks. Now all of you suddenly went, autoloader, no! Calm? Calm? Contain the calamity that is your memories. I assure you, it's not as bad as it seems. So, for a start, the gun does not have ridiculous penetration. It has 137. I think the fully upgraded one is 141, which is crap compared to the front of most tier 5 and 6 main battle tanks. This is truly a flanking and exploiting type of tank. Shots of opportunity are your friend. So let us compare it to some of the various vehicles that are in my garage. So starting off, the damage is only 200, but it gets a 8-round clip. So that is a potential 1600 average damage roll. Plus it can immediately switch to its tow missile, which is a very, very common tactic to fire your entire clip while the clip is reloading, which takes 14 seconds. You switch to the tow, you fling it out too, and then you run for cover. Camouflage-wise, this thing has an amazing 30.30, i.e. 30% camouflage rating until it opens fire. You are more likely to not be spotted in this light tank than you are some AFVs. It also is incredibly fast. Now the defect with that speed is the fact that its turret traverse and its hull traverse are trash. As you can see, the turret traverse is barely faster than the Chieftain's, and the hull traverse is god awful. I think doing some research, the hull traverse on this thing was only like 30 degrees a second. So combined 54 degrees a second. The Chieftains combined, this is the slowest tier 5 tank in the game. The Chieftains combined traverse speeds come out to 58. So it's slower to traverse than the Chieftain, but it has ridiculous acceleration and top speed. Hard to control, yes. Armor wise, what armor? Autocannons pen you consistently. Now your front plate does have some sloping to it, as you can see, and will bounce autocannons that hit the front upper plate. The front lower plate here, however, nope, right through it like a hot knife through butter. The turret, however, is completely unmanned, and the advantage to the unmanned turret is penetrating the turret counts as a partial damage hit, or a no damage hit, depending on where you pinned it at. So there's some good news. They can shoot you in your turret all day and you don't care. Accuracy-wise, it's not the most accurate gun in the world. Targeting time, it does take this gun a bit to aim, and also if you just let the trigger down, the aim circle actually gets bigger rather than smaller as it fires faster than it aims. So you do have to make sure you're in a position to squeeze off those shots, or that you're circling somebody when you hit the engine override. Now compared to the Chieftain's DPM, this thing will out DPM a Chieftain all day long. The Chieftain doesn't have the highest DPM, but this is also, just kind of something to compare it to. It doesn't have the best gun depression, and most certainly better gun depression off the rear than most main battle tanks, but it's still not awesome or excellent. And off the side is only about 6 degrees. Let's compare it to the ERC. Higher damage per minute. It will just punch this ERC's armor all day long, by the way. 12 millimeters of armor, do the math. Faster acceleration? Definitely. Higher top speed? No, but better camouflage rating and view range than the tank destroyer. Now, it doesn't have the accuracy or the traverse speed, but it does make up for that. It says 14-second reload time, but ignore that. It's 2 seconds between shots unless you have to reload a full clip. So now we can see it compared to a tank destroyer. It doesn't have that penetration. Compare it to the Fox. The Fox's gun almost has the same penetration. It does out DPM the Fox. And this is one of the highest damage per minutes of any tier 5 vehicle. Armor-wise, I mean, this thing won't stop the Fox's cannon. It'll punch it all day long. No questions asked. Speed-wise, it can keep up with the Fox initially, but as soon as the engine override runs out, the Fox is going to burst away. But if you look at the utility, has the same camouflage rating as the Fox. You heard me. Light tank, Fox, same camo rating. Almost identical view ranges. Better gun depression. It doesn't reload its clip as quick, but the Fox's clip doesn't do as much damage per clip. And you can clip out a Fox in what is this, 4, 5 shots, and the Fox has to fire 2 full clips back at you, and you might still be alive. Accuracy-wise, even the Fox's autocannon is more accurate than this thing. Get used to the fact that 2 out of every clip out of your 8 is going to do nothing. Just flat out accept that a fourth of your shots are not going to go where they're pointed. And compare it to the BMP. Better camouflage. It's faster. Has more hit points. Has more armor. The BMP's autocannon will penetrate it all day long, but it will clip out a BMP before the BMP kills it in most cases in a one-on-one slugfest. Better gun depression. Not as quick aim time. Again, it's less accurate than the BMP. And the BMP's accuracy is notoriously bad. So, yeah. But it does have very similar view range. So one thing you can take into consideration when you're in this vehicle, you almost have an AFV's view range. So you can kind of use your own view range to judge if you're actually in view range of the enemy AFVs. Now, I'm going to give you guys a look at the armor profile. As you can see, it is trash. You are going to get penetrated by everything that shoots you. And it doesn't offer any more protection from high explosive or shaped charges. This tank is... Frag cannons are the bane of you. In PvP and PvE, frag cannons will wreck this vehicle. Period. So just fire high explosive at it. I mean, seriously, that's what you brought the shells for. Hit it with a high explosive round. You will wreck this vehicle, destroy its modules, and it will be a full penetration HE round. Now, moving on to commander choice. Because of your already outstanding camouflage factor, already outstanding view range, and slightly subpar aim time, I recommend Sabrina Washington. She gives you a better aim time, but then she takes your superb view range, makes it further, and then gives you an even better camouflage factor overall and while moving, or while shooting. So factor this in, you got a .33 camouflage factor, that's 33%. If you haven't fired your gun, people aren't seeing you till they're 350, or hell, in some cases I've had people be as close as 260 meters away and they still can't see me because I'm not moving or shooting, even though I'm in the open. The increased aim time is really also necessary, but increasing your view range also gives you a little superiority over AFVs who lack that view range increase. Now, ammunition loadout. I pack some HE shells to fire at particularly extremely low armor targets, but I don't use them. I almost exclusively use these AP rounds. And you're going to want tow missiles because you're going to fire off your full clip, discover that you haven't quite killed your target, and switch to the missile and kill it. It's exactly how this works. Retrofit wise, now I do have the internal hull reinforcement to give it more hit points because, let's face it, this thing's survivability is pretty crap and you really do need that. The air induction cleaner to give it a better hull traverse. I mean, the hull traverse is what really makes it hurt. The turret traverse is bad, but the hull traverse is awful. And once I get the firepower slot unlocked, I'm definitely putting the advanced MRS on it because you're going to be relying on these Sabo rounds to do damage. And they don't have the highest penetration in the game, so enhancing their penetrating power is really going to help you kill tanks. Consumables, standard consumables. No variation here. It's not an artillery piece. It's not something special that you can do with the consumables. Crew skills. Do the twist. Get that turret traverse up and smooth ride to go ahead and enhance the light tank's natural shooting on the move. And then I recommend that you get spin it to win it. And for your gunner, I recommend that you get quick draw to increase that slow aim speed when you can. That's about everything here I can recommend for this vehicle before we actually see it in action. So I've been having a good time, by the way, in this vehicle in PvP and PvE. Let me go find the Begelitpanzer. Oh my god, did you put these in the right order? There you are. So as you guys can see, I've taken it into 6 PvP battles, and I've walked out with a 3-0 KDR. I mean, this vehicle is fun in PvP. It's really a lot of fun. And then for PvE wise, I mean, in PvE, this vehicle devastates. All the AFVs and tank destroyers and light tanks that spawn, and this thing can output up to 2,000 damage in 10 seconds. That is emptying your entire clip plus firing the missile. 2k damage just went out. You can't argue with that in PvP and PvE, especially when you're not having to worry about actually aiming to penetrate. And in PvP, this is not a bad vehicle, as you guys can see. It does take some map knowledge. It does take some self-awareness. It takes allies keeping the enemy's attention so you can flank as well. But with those factors in here and you taking advantage of this thing's rapid relocation capability, you can really do some damage and get some kills. You won't always win, though. I mean, this is not a carry tank. This is definitely a support vehicle. Oh yeah, my kill death ratio went up. But anyway, let's go take a look. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just trying to show you guys I know what I'm talking about when I do these reviews. And since Obsidian makes it where we can't see stats unless we want to voluntarily give them to you, I figure I'll volunteer mine. And therefore you guys know I know exactly what I'm talking about. But let's go take a look at this thing in an actual battle, shall we? Alright guys, we have the Begelitpanzer on Operation Onyx. I have 2 other Begelitpanzers with me. Yeah, we like these things. They're fun.
Reloading. Black Company, don't let cartel forces steal our hardware from the train. Hold them up when we clear the tracks.
Alright, let's save this train then. I mean, that's what they want us to do, right? Now look, this is how terrible this thing's reverse speed is. I had to slow down significantly to be able to make that turn. And it's consistent like that. If you want to make a sharp turn, you better hit the brakes. Because them's the brakes. But against, you know, light tanks and AFVs, devastating vehicle. Now, I probably should have switched to the missile and flung a missile at the BMD-3, but I just wanted to get down here and get out of spotting so I could get moving. Vehicle is still freaking on. I mean, Begelitpanzer is the only one with kills right now, and that's Itchy's Begelitpanzer. But I'm about to cross the railroad tracks here and go have a gay old time because I don't want to be anywhere near this freaking other light tank right now. Dead. I'm gonna go ahead and reload the gun. You want to always make sure press that reload button. Don't you go in with no partial clip. Don't you do it. Your mama taught you better. Don't you do it. You go in with a full clip. Like I said, you gotta let it aim. But once you let it aim, it does its job fairly well. You do really, I mean, if you just hold the trigger down, you're gonna miss shots. You have to let this gun work. Now I start to head back and I go, wait a minute, that T-72's got this. I'm not needed back there. Also, look at the elevation on this gun. It is massive. You've got elevation for days. So if you don't have depression, but you can angle the tank where the nose is facing at a downward angle, you can use your elevation as depression and get some real good odd angle shots. And again, it's accurate on the move. I can't complain about that. I'm going to rush through here and take out these secondary objectives while Mr. T-72 deals with the AFV. Because I feel like it. Oh, come on, 72. Come on, you let me down, Ride My Boomstick. You're letting me down.
Looks like that part of the train is safe.
There we go. Problem solved. Now I'm turning around and come back. So we're at least getting paid for the secondary, right?
Watch out, enemy force.
And I'm about to kind of turn it on, you know, absolute murder everything mode. I recognize the tank behind me. I don't stop for this. Nope. Nope. I don't know what that is. I'm not about to argue. I'm just going. I didn't bother to look back at it. Expeditionary tank. Who shoots me, but then just gets racked by my clip. You cannot engage this tank into a flat-out brawl. It'll win. All it has to do is get to a place where it can penetrate, and that clip will tear you apart, and then it's got a missile on top of that. Even the Ramka and the Terminator, shooting them in the turret, this thing doesn't have a very big damage range with its AP rounds. So you can just shoot them in the turret and get away with it all day long. And the speed lets me get into positions that, well, to be quite honest, I shouldn't be allowed to get into. Waiting until I know they're turned around. And then just waste him. I should switch. There it is. I'm switching to the missile. And get a devastating hit in with it. And I've only got like 3 seconds left on my main clip. Poor Expeditionary. Dead. Problem solved.
They're headed to the engine.
I mean, absolutely, problem solved. This tank, I gotta say right now, this is one of my favorite vehicles. And yes, the autocannon can be overpowered if you can get people into a flat-out engagement. If you can't, well then, the peaky-pokey match you'll lose. But if you can get people to be forced to do a continuous engagement, you win. The burst damage on this thing's amazing. Now that is a paladin. I do not want to actually take a hit from a paladin because it will absolutely wreck my face. But he's down now. And Garbad stole that kill. But I'm doing a lot of damage here. I'm racking it up. And this is PvE, I know, but PvP today, I had a fun time. It was the first time the Begelitpanzer went out into PvP, and in 6 battles, I racked up 9 kills. Takes care of him. Got it. Throw out those smoke grenades while we reload. Now with the autoloader damaged, I've got a 15-second reload, which is kind of annoying. I want to go with that warrior right now. I really do. But I gotta wait that extra second change, but now I get it. And all the explosions everywhere, all around us right now. This is a bad day. I got the missile out. Oh crap. Bad day, bad day, bad day! Poor Abrams. Lit him on fire. There's that penetration point. Where's it at? I can't finish off the Abrams, but that's the end of the mission.
Good work.
And the 3 Begelitpanzers are the 3 with the highest kills at the end of the mission, and you wonder why. Also, I'm sorry about the mouse cursor, but this was during a recording, and I was getting a bunch of messages on TeamSpeak, and I had to go look why I was getting all the messages on TeamSpeak. Clan officer stuff. God, when was the last time I was a clan officer? Let's not talk about that! Those were dark times. We're in happier times now. I think we are. Alright, so let's take a look at the stats. I got the blue star, which means I got the most reputation for that PvE mission. What did I do? Highest damage. This tank. You want a PvE tank? This is it. This is your go-to tank for PvE. This is also a pretty good tank for PvP. Surprisingly good now. Especially since it has a Sabo round. We begged Obsidian to remove the all heat rounds, and they did. So if you did like this video, please like and share it on your social. Please like it here, hit that little thumbs up button, and then share it on your social media. I would really appreciate it. So Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want to do. If you want to leave a comment and let me know something, go right ahead, leave a comment. I appreciate all of them, regardless of what they are or what they entail. If you would like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking on the ad at the end of the video, or you can go to the Patreon page and donate $1. That's all I ask. Not anymore. And you don't have to do either one of them. It's entirely optional. If you want to see the previous Armored Warfare video, it's right there. Go take a look. I promise that it was fun and entertaining. And that's about everything. So this is Fiaura officially signing out for right now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, guys. This is, let's face it, 18 degrees a second is terrible. And the acceleration and maneuverability of this vehicle will leave you begging to go play an AFV, just so you know that you have things that can move around the battlefield. Now, the advantages to this vehicle we are about to start going over in comparison to its Tier 5 MBT counterparts. But that's after we do a brief history of the Chieftain. So, the Chieftain, or the FV4201 main battle